All right, so get this. Benelli just dropped a brand new motorcycle at EICMA 2024.
Oh, yeah.
The Leoncino Bobber 400.
Okay.
And we got all the juicy details from a recent article
Oh, nice.
in a motorcycle blog.
Cool.
This thing's got a totally new engine for Benelli.
Wow.
Killer customizable design.
Oh, awesome.
And they're really leaning into that blend of classic and modern.
Yeah, I'm excited to hear more about this.
I'm excited to dive into this, aren't you?
Definitely. It's a smart move by Benelli.
Yeah.
Hitting a bunch of trends all at once.
Right.
We're seeing more and more interest in these smaller displacement bikes.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, that classic bobber style never goes out of fashion.
Yeah.
Plus, who doesn't love a little personalization on their ride?
Okay, so before we get too far,
Sure.
let's break down the basics for those who might not be familiar.
Yeah.
What exactly defines a bobber-style motorcycle?
Good point.
Hmm.
You see a lot of bikes labeled as bobbers these days.
Right.
The core concept is all about stripping things down to the essentials.
Okay.
It's that minimalist, low-slung look, almost like a custom build, really, emphasizing the solo rider experience.
I see.
Shortened fenders, or even no fenders at all, are a classic sign.
Right.
And they often ditch any parts that aren't absolutely necessary.
And you can totally see that in the Leoncino Bobber 400.
Yeah.
The article mentions a separate seat for the rider
Mm.
and a super short tail section.
Uh-huh.
It's clean.
Absolutely. That separate seat is a dead giveaway for that classic bobber silhouette.
Yeah.
And it's not just about looks. It also makes customizing the bike way easier.
Oh, okay.
Benelli also made a clever design choice with the tail section.
Okay.
It's super short for that stripped-down look, but you can actually add a passenger seat
Wow.
without any extra modifications to the frame.
Oh, that's neat.
Yeah.
So you can rock that solo look,
Mm-hmm.
but still have the option for a passenger when you need it.
Right.
Okay, now let's talk about this engine, because this is where it gets really interesting for me.
Okay.
A 60-degree V-twin.
Mm-hmm.
That's a first for Benelli, right?
Totally. A first, this is Benelli dipping their toes into the power cruiser world.
Oh, wow.
And they're doing it with a V-twin.
Okay.
We're talking 384.5 cc displacement,
Okay.
which gives you 34.5 horsepower
Mm-hmm.
and 36 nanometers of torque.
Yeah.
Not bad at all for a smaller bike.
Those are solid numbers, and I bet that V-twin will give this bike
Oh, yeah.
a totally different personality compared to Benelli's other models.
Yeah.
What kind of difference are we talking about here?
Well, imagine this. You're cruising down a back road, maybe even a scenic route you haven't explored before.
Okay.
With a V-twin, you're going to feel this smooth, powerful wave of torque pushing you forward.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll probably hear a nice throaty rumble from the exhaust.
Oh, nice.
It's a very different feel from a parallel twin engine. Less buzzy.
Yeah.
More of a relaxed, almost effortless power delivery.
Okay. I can already picture it. This engine alone is making me seriously consider this bike.
Uh-huh.
But let's not forget the styling.
Of course not.
The article calls out some pretty sweet details like the exposed air filter.
Oh, yeah.
That definitely adds to the whole rugged mechanical vibe.
For sure. It's a nice touch that shows they're not just slapping some retro styling on a modern bike.
Right.
They're embracing that mechanical aesthetic.
Hmm?
You've got fuel injection
Yeah.
and all the latest tech in that engine.
Yeah.
But they're not hiding it away behind plastic covers.
Right.
It's all on display, which I think a lot of riders will appreciate.
It's that perfect blend of old school, cool and modern technology.
Yeah.
And then there's that round, full-color digital instrument panel.
Right.
And the bar and mirrors.
Yeah.
They took all the classic bobber elements
Mm.
and gave them a modern tech upgrade, didn't they?
Exactly. They found a great balance. You get just enough tech
Yeah.
to enhance the riding experience
Mm.
without sacrificing that vintage vibe.
Right.
And they're giving you options for personalization too.
Oh, cool.
The article mentions 3 color choices:
Okay.
Desert Tan, Midnight Black, and Onyx Gray.
Oh, wow.
If you were picking, which one would you go for?
Oh, that's a tough one.
Yeah.
I'm kind of digging that desert can. I think it would look really striking, especially with the blacked out engine components.
Yeah.
But that classic midnight black is always a safe bet, you know?
It's all about finding the look that fits your style,
Yeah.
and that's a good thing.
Right.
Having those options to make the bike truly yours is part of the fun.
Speaking of options,
Okay.
the article threw in a comparison chart putting the Leoncino Bobber 400 up against the Indian Scout Bobber 60.
Okay.
and the Harley-Davidson Iron 883.
Wow.
Now, those are some serious contenders.
Yeah.
What jumps out at you when you look at how they stack up?
Well, right off the bat, you notice the size and weight difference.
Mm-hmm.
The Benelli is noticeably lighter and more compact than both the Indian and the Harley.
Which makes sense considering it's got a smaller engine. But does that mean it's going to feel less powerful on the road?
On paper, yeah, the Benelli has lower horsepower and torque figures,
Okay.
but that doesn't tell the whole story.
Right.
Remember what we were talking about with the V-twin and that smooth power delivery?
Huh?
A lighter bike can actually feel more lively and responsive,
Okay.
especially if you're doing a lot of city riding or navigating tight corners.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
So it might not have the raw muscle of those bigger bikes,
Right.
but it could make up for it with agility and a more fun, playful riding experience.
Exactly.
And for someone who's newer to riding,
Yeah.
that lower seat height on the Benelli can be a huge confidence booster.
Oh, for sure.
It can make a world of difference when you're starting out,
Yeah.
making the bike feel more manageable and less intimidating.
Right.
That's a really good point.
Mm.
Choosing your first bike is a big decision,
Yeah.
and finding one that fits your size and experience level is crucial. Now let's dig into some of the frequently asked questions the article included.
Okay.
I think this will be super helpful for our listeners who are trying to get a feel for this bike.
Sounds good. Let's see what questions they've tackled.
Yeah.
I'm curious myself.
So the first question dives right into what makes the Leoncino Bobber 400 stand out.
Okay.
And as we've been discussing, it's that unique combo
Yeah.
of the 60-degree V-twin engine
Right,
with
yeah.
that classic bobber styling.
Huh?
It's really carving its own path in a crowded market.
I think so.
I love that they went with the V-twin for this model.
Me too.
It just feels like a perfect match for the bobber aesthetic.
Yeah.
And speaking of fitting in, the next question addresses whether this bike
'Kay.
is a good option for new riders.
Okay.
The article says yes, highlighting the manageable power and low seat height as beginner-friendly features.
Right.
What are your thoughts on that?
I think they're spot on.
Okay.
When you're just starting out, the last thing you want is a bike that feels too powerful or difficult to handle.
Yeah.
That can really take the fun out of riding and make the learning curve feel a lot steeper.
Right?
A bike like the Leoncino Bobber 400 with its approachable size and power delivery
Mm-hmm.
could be a great confidence builder for someone who's new to the two-wheeled world.
It's all about finding that sweet spot
Yep.
where you feel comfortable and in control, right?
Absolutely.
Now, the question I know everyone is wondering about
Uh-huh.
is the price tag.
Oh, of course.
The article doesn't give us a specific number,
Okay.
but it hints that the Benelli Leoncino Bobber 400 will be competitively priced
Right.
within the entry-level bobber market.
Okay.
What does that even mean in the world of motorcycles?
Good question.
Yeah.
Entry level in the motorcycle world usually means a price point that's accessible
Mm-hmm.
for newer riders or those on a tighter budget.
Right?
It's the segment where you find bikes that offer a great balance of style, performance, and value.
Okay.
Think of it like the stepping stone into the world of motorcycles.
So taking all that into consideration, where do you think the Leoncino Bobber 400 will land price-wise compared to the Indian Scout Bobber 60 and the Harley-Davidson Iron 883?
Okay.
Those are both pretty popular bikes in the bobber scene.
If Benelli is serious about targeting that entry-level market,
Yeah.
I think they'll have to undercut the pricing of those bigger brands.
Okay.
Maybe something in the $7,000 to $8,000 range.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that would make it a very attractive option
Right.
for someone who wants that classic bobber look without breaking the bank.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
I could see this bike being a huge hit at that price point. The article mentions a 2025 release date,
Okay.
so we'll have to wait a bit longer to know for sure.
Right.
But hey, anticipation is half the fun, right?
Totally. It gives you time to dream a little.
Yeah.
Picture yourself out on the open road with this beauty.
Okay.
Speaking of which, the last FAQ they address is one we touched on earlier,
Huh?
the passenger seat option.
Oh, right. I'm
Right.
glad they clarified that.
Yeah, they confirmed that, yes, you can absolutely add a passenger seat to the Leoncino Bobber 400.
Awesome.
And remember, the design allows for this without any major modifications to the frame.
Right.
You get the best of both worlds.
That's a big win for versatility.
For sure.
It's almost like they're saying, hey, we get it.
Yeah.
Sometimes you want to ride solo and look cool, and sometimes you want to share the experience with someone.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It speaks to this idea of the Leoncino Bobber 400 being a bike that can grow with you as a rider.
Right.
You're not limited to one specific style or experience.
Yeah.
It's about options
Mm-hmm.
and having the flexibility to make the bike your own.
I like that.
But there's another angle to this passenger seat option that's worth considering.
Oh, I'm intrigued. What are you thinking?
Well, think about the typical bobber rider stereotype.
Okay.
Often it's someone who's very much into that solo riding experience, right?
Right.
But by offering this passenger seat option,
Yeah.
Benelli might be trying to broaden the appeal of this bike, reaching out to riders who aren't necessarily hardcore bobber enthusiasts, but are drawn to the style and want a bike that can fit different aspects of their life.
Right.
Maybe they want to cruise solo during the week and then take a passenger on weekend adventures.
That's a really interesting point.
Yeah?
It's almost like they're subtly challenging those traditional notions of what a bobber rider should be.
Yeah, I think so.
And honestly, I think it's brilliant. The more people we can get excited about motorcycles, the better.
I agree. It's about making the motorcycle world more inclusive
Yeah.
and showing people that there's a bike out there for everyone, no matter your experience level or riding preferences.
All right, so we've covered a lot of ground here.
We have.
We've talked about the design, the engine, the price point, even the philosophy behind some of the features.
Yeah.
What are your overall impressions of the Benelli Leoncino Bobber 400 so far?
Honestly, I'm impressed. Benelli's put together a really compelling package here. They've taken the classic bobber formula, added their own unique twist with the V-twin engine, and sprinkled in some modern tech and thoughtful design choices.
Right.
It's a bike that seems to balance style, performance, and accessibility in a really interesting way.
I think you hit the nail on the head there.
Yeah.
It's a really well-rounded package that seems to offer something for a wide range of riders.
Yeah, for sure.
So for our listener out there who might be thinking,
Okay.
hey, this Benelli Leoncino Bobber 400 sounds pretty cool.
Right.
What would you say are the key takeaways they should keep in mind?
I'd say first and foremost,
Okay.
don't let the entry-level label fool ya.
Right.
This bike is stylish, capable, and has a personality all its own,
Yeah.
thanks to that unique V-twin engine.
Right.
It's not just a beginner bike.
Okay.
It's a bike that can grow with you as you gain experience.
Right.
And explore different riding styles.
That's a great point.
Right.
It seems like Benelli has really struck a balance
Yeah.
between accessibility and performance.
You get that classic bobber look and feel,
Yeah.
but with modern touches and a price point that hopefully won't break the bank.
Exactly. And remember, this bike is all about options.
Yeah?
You can customize it to fit your style.
Uh-huh.
You can ride solo or add a passenger seat.
Mm-hmm.
You can cruise city streets or explore winding back roads.
Right.
It's a versatile machine that doesn't try to pigeonhole you
Okay.
into one specific type of riding.
I love that it's a bike that seems to say, go out there and have fun on your own terms.
Yeah.
I'm honestly really excited to see how the Leoncino Bobber 400 performs out in the real world.
Me too.
I have a feeling we'll be seeing a lot of them on the road soon.
I think so too. It's a bike that has the potential to shake things up in the bobber market.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't be surprised if it becomes a favorite among both new and experienced riders.
Well, there you have it, folks. Our deep dive into the Benelli Leoncino Bobber 400. A bike that blends classic style, modern tech, and a whole lot of potential.
It's definitely a bike to keep an eye on. And as we wrap up, we'd love to hear your thoughts.
Yeah.
What do you think about the Leoncino Bobber 400?
Okay.
Does it live up to the hype?
Right.
Is it a bike you could see yourself riding? Head over to our website or social media and let us know.
Awesome.
And until next time, ride safe and keep the rubber side down.